absolutely. White paint is a snob. So when you see all these great pictures on Pinterest, they are decorated to the nth degree with lots of texture, lots of different products that make the place look good.
Hi everybody, today I'm with Maggie Stettler.
Settler.
Spectacular.
Paint on the wall. Yep.
Peace, love, and a lot of real estate.
Too painful?
Too painful.
No, it wasn't too bad, was it? Today we are here with Maggie Stettler with Pittsburgh Staged Homes. Have to say, Maggie, I'm really excited to have you. Maggie is the first person that has reached out to me that has not known me through the industry in the past, has seen some videos and actually wanted to come on and participate and get involved. So I'm really happy to have you here today.
Thanks, Dawn. I'm happy to be here talking about my favorite subject, home staging.
Yes, home staging. And of course, we have a lot of questions. You're our first home stager to visit, and want to know basically how you got into the industry, how you got your start.
Well, I got my start in a way by helping my friends organize their homes and rearrange them so they looked attractive. And I started following a home stager, one of the top home stagers in the country, Christy Barnett, with the decorologist, and went on and was trained by her and came back and started working here in Pittsburgh.
Now, are you born and bred from Pittsburgh?
I've been here my whole life, went to school here, everything.
Oh, excellent,
Yeah.
excellent. So I know from my perspective, home staging, we seem to be a little bit behind the times here in Pittsburgh. Not as many people use a home stager as in other areas of the country. Am I correct in saying that?
You are. And I'm not sure exactly why, except Pittsburgh tends to be a little more conservative, and it started, of course, on the East Coast and West Coast. And many places, people even that are living in their home, they will move out and bring all new staging furniture in, which is kind of extreme. But yeah, if you've got a couple $1 million house, it might be worth doing that, because staging does increase the value of a home. It is focused on what the buyer wants, not what the homeowner is used to and their style. The home staging resource company just did a big survey, and 85% of their homes sold for 2 to 6% more than the neighbors' unstaged homes. Mm-hmm. So staging really does add to the value.
And I just want to point out for people, because I go into houses all the time on listing appointments, and there's a big difference, big difference from maintaining your property and getting your property clean versus staging your property. And you want to do both. When you go to sell your house, I tell people, if you were selling your car, you would get your car detailed. It's the same thing with your house. You want to make sure it's clean. But staging, obviously, you're taking it to the next level. And I think it's so important right now, because I've talked to a lot of people in the industry. We're going from a seller's market. We're starting to see a little bit of a transition into a buyer's market. And that being said, staging can make an enormous difference for sellers, right?
Yes, and one of the main reasons I think that staging has taken off is because of photos online. Mm-hmm. Because a home that looks great in person may not look so good in a 2D photo. One of the big examples are wooden kitchens with wooden floors. Well, everything is just a big blur in a photo, although when you're standing there in the place, it looks great. Mm-hmm. So I think that is one of the big things that has pushed staging. The other thing is that people's expectations are so much higher than they used to be. Because of Pinterest and Houzz and Instagram, everybody wants a home that looks perfect, mm-hmm. the way they do, only when their picture's taken maybe, but you don't know that. And the other reason is that because of Zillow and other things like that, buyers can see how long your home's been on the market,
yes.
if you've taken price reductions, and that really affects what they're willing to offer. Mm-hmm. So the ideal is to stage your home before it goes on the market, put it on the market, price it competitively, and sell it quickly. Mm-hmm. That's how you get the most amount of money.
Mm-hmm. So what do you tell people that are on a budget? Like, I really can't afford a lot, but I do want to use your services. What would you suggest?
Well, I started out doing all types of staging, vacant staging as well as occupied. And occupied staging is less well known, but that is where I come in to a home before it's listed. I go through with the homeowner and tell her or him all the recommendations. This room should be painted, this room, needs touched up here, just move this furniture. And we go through, it takes an hour to 2 hours, depending on the size of the house. And it gives them a roadmap to prepare their home. And we're talking about $200 to $300 for that.
That's definitely affordable.
Right.
And so what I'm seeing also on my side is I have homes that people are willing to put some paint on the walls, typically white. And I always suggest a little color, a little warmth, because Pittsburgh is a cold area. Yep. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, absolutely. White paint is a snob. So when you see all these great pictures on Pinterest, they are decorated to the nth degree with lots of texture, lots of different products that make the place look good. If it's white in a regular home, it really just tends to look sterile and looks like that first apartment that you had when you got out of college.
Mm-hmm. Or the doctor's office.
So I do have a list of home staging colors of the year. I'm getting ready to do my 2019. And those are 10 colors, 5 from Benjamin Moore, 5 from Sherwin-Williams. And there's a gray and a beige and a light blue. And so one of those colors generally is the right color to paint. And stagers always say paint is money in a can, because there's nothing you can do to your home to make it look fresh and inviting that has a bigger impact than painting the walls.
Absolutely, I would agree with that. Okay, Maggie, so one thing I tell my clients when I go and get ready to list their houses, this is your largest investment.
Absolutely.
So you want to get the most money as possible out of this investment. You want to sell in the least amount of time, because selling is painful. Getting your house ready to show, especially when you're occupying it. So again, getting the house ready, what are your 5 tips for people as far as what are the 5 things that you think people need to do to get their homes ready?
Okay, the first one, I always say there's 3 things that you can do for no cost staging. So the first one is to declutter, and that means being ruthless about getting rid of all the little things in the corners, the extra tables, taking your closets. They should be no more than 3/4 full. There shouldn't be anything on the floor. And it's difficult to do that, but it's sort of pre-packing, because you're going to have to pack those things up anyway. So pack up, put those things in boxes. If you can take them off site, that's great. Otherwise, put them in the corner. The second one is depersonalize, because when people are coming in, obviously they know somebody's living there, but they don't want to be reminded of it. Mm-hmm. And some of it too is a safety issue. So pictures of your children, their names on the wall, all of your collections, all of your diplomas, all of those things that identify you should be taken away. So that's depersonalizing. The third thing is cleaning, and it's funny when you said clean, 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 because that's how I always say it too. And I mean clean everything, clean all around the doors, clean the
fixtures,
the fans, wipe off the light bulbs. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's something that gets dirty. The next thing I would say is to make sure that your windows are open as much as possible. If you can take blinds and draperies down, that's great. Sometimes you need to keep them for privacy. The one thing I say 100% of the time that should be gone are valances. Mm-hmm. Because they cut the eye in the photo. When people look at that photo, they see their eye goes directly to that, and it makes the room look smaller.
Okay.
The other thing
that's a great point.
The other thing I would say, like 100% of the time, except maybe in those cases where you have the wooden kitchen, is to remove all the throw rugs except in the seating areas. People want to see the floor. That's what they're buying. They're not buying your beautiful rugs. I had a client one time.
So are you talking area rugs?
Area rugs.
Okay.
Any rugs, like in the dining room, especially little throw rugs. Maybe you need a rug in front of your door, but you should take that up for the photo.
Okay.
because the eye then goes, the longer your eye can go without being stopped or interrupted, the bigger the space looks.
Okay.
So those would be my tips for someone to make a good start on staging their home.
So this is kind of going to be a two-part series, and I'm really excited. It's going to be obviously what we've talked about today regarding staging, and then the next half of, or part two, will be before and after, because we're going to leave here and we're going to cruise on down to Shady Side and meet with one of my clients that's getting ready to stage her home, get it ready to sell, and use Maggie for the staging in Shady Side. So we're so excited about that. So part two will be
going through a consultation, and then in the spring when the home is listed, then we'll show the big difference between an unstaged home and a staged home.
Yep, absolutely. So I'm so excited to work with Maggie and continue this little series. Thanks so much.